I'm so tired of investing in characters in the WWE only for them to fire them for no good reason. 12 NXT superstars released, Bronson Reed, Bobby Fish, Mercedes Martinez, the list goes on. We're going to talk about them all. What are you doing? Bronson Reed is literally a top 5 prospect in all of wrestling, and you just casted him to the side, and you didn't even care about it. This company literally makes me want to rip my hair out, and I can't afford to lose much more hair. I'm already balding. But without further ado, let's try to talk about SmackDown tonight. We'll talk about the releases as well. This is the August 6, 2021 edition of Friday Night Smackdown, and this is my review. We started off the show with the rivalry that we revisited last week, Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair, with an added twist of Zelina Vega. Sasha was in the ring and she was doing the same old shtick of all the heels in wrestling where they're like, I made you, you're nothing without me. Like, can we try something different maybe? Bianca Belair comes down to the ring and she's having none of what Sasha Banks is saying, and Sasha Banks immediately rolls out of the ring as Bianca enters the ring. Bianca Belair is like, why are you running? Sasha does come across as a bit of a scaredy cat during this, but it's not long before Zelina Vega comes on down and joins them at ringside. And Zelina Vega has a bit of a gripe from last week. Bianca Belair promised her a women's championship match. So then Bianca Belair has to choose between Sasha Banks and Zelina Vega for who she's gonna face. Well, Bianca Belair, being the ever good person that she is, the hot baby face on the block, she says, I'm going to fight Sasha at SummerSlam, and I'm going to fight Zelina Vega tonight. We are then led to believe that we are going to get a SmackDown Women's Championship match between Zelina Vega and Bianca Belair later on in the show. We then cut backstage and we see Dominik Mysterio and Rey Mysterio chatting a little bit. Rey is talking to Dom, letting him know just how proud he is of him, but he says, if we want to get those tag team titles back, you got to step your game up, son. Now, I'm not sure if this was just some fatherly advice or if this is the start of some seeds for a potential Dominik turn on Rey. We all have experienced some overbearing parents at times, especially as adults. It's a very relatable story. And Dominik Mysterio, being an adult, he's like, hey, I got here. I've been wrestling here for a while now. Why don't you have trust in me? Why do you say I got to step my game up? Like, do you not like what I do in that ring? But we transition into Dominik Mysterio versus Jay Uso, a very solid match that resulted in Dominik maybe losing a tooth. I mean, he did get super kicked really hard, but in the end, Jay Uso hits the big splash on Dominik Mysterio and picks up the win. But it was because there was a bit of a distraction from Rey Mysterio attacking Jimmy Uso at ringside. So whether that plays into the story moving forward, we're going to have to watch and find out. We then get ourselves a championship contenders match between Apollo Crews and Shinsuke Nakamura. This championship contenders match stuff, like, I'm not exactly sure if this is WWE just trying to bump up the ratings or if this is trying to make every match with a champion in it feel bigger. But we are seeing a lot of this right now where if a challenger defeats the champion, they get a shot at the championship. Cool idea on paper. I'm not sure if this is going to continually work, but I can give it a bit of a chance. This match was really short, sweet, and to the point. We got a disqualification finish with Commander Aziz attacking Shinsuke Nakamura, thus disqualifying Apollo Crews, and via the rules of the championship contenders matches, Shinsuke Nakamura should get a shot at the IC title. Next up is Tamina versus Tegan Knox. I like Tegan Knox a lot. I like Shotzi. I like that they keep coming down to the ring with the cannon. And I like it when they shoot the t-shirts out of the cannon into the crowd. Like, that's such a cool thing for those baby faces to do. They didn't do that here today. Instead, the cannon from their tank was loaded with a little rocket. This rocket came into play when Tamina had Tegan Knox up on her shoulders, ready to deliver a Samoan drop, and Shotzi shoots this rocket right towards Tamina, missing her, but allowing enough of a distraction for Tegan Knox to roll up Tamina for the 1, 2, 3. So again, Tamina loses, and it looks like Shotzi and Tegan are well on their way to becoming tag team champions. Time for the Rated R superstar Edge to speak his mind on Seth Rollins. So Edge starts out in the center of the ring and he tells everybody that Seth Rollins is not here tonight. And it's a good thing that Rollins is not here tonight because Edge might kill him. Dude, you know you could go to jail for that, right? But Rollins certainly made his mark known when he appeared up on the satellite, and his cocky attitude was just oozing through the screen. Edge proceeded to challenge Seth Rollins, and Seth Rollins said, Let me think about it. Edge certainly made him think about it because he proceeded to call him Edge Light, saying that Seth Rollins is just working in the shadows of Edge, and the reason why Edge keeps coming back to bite him in the ass is because he didn't finish the job all the way back in 2014. What a great story. This makes Rollins snap, and he accepts the challenge of Edge at SummerSlam, so we are finally going to get it. This match has been in the making for such a long time, and we're finally going to get it at SummerSlam. Are you pumped to see Seth Rollins versus Edge? Let me know in the comments below. But then, unfortunately, the entire momentum of the show was derailed with some real-life news. Not a storyline. These are real people that lost their jobs. WWE has fired 12 NXT superstars. The following people are out of a job: Bobby Fish, Bronson Reed, Jake Atlas, Ari Sterling, Kona Reeves, Leon Ruff, Stephon Smith, Tyler Rust, Zachariah Smith, I don't know how to pronounce that name, I apologize, Asher Hale, Giant Zangier, and Mercedes Martinez. Just such a crappy day. There's certainly some shocking names on that list. Bobby Fish just exiting the Undisputed Era, just had a money match against Roderick Strong on NXT, and they can him. Bronson Reed, I truly believe, is a top 5 prospect in all of wrestling, and he will be missed. Jake Atlas, I believe, just celebrated his 5th anniversary of his pro wrestling debut, and they just fired him on that day, so that's nice. Mercedes Martinez, you know, they tried her up on the main roster with Retribution. She had a great run down in NXT as well. I don't know how you can't find more to do with her. I think she's money, and just give her a run on the main roster, but she's gone too. Giant Zangier, I know that they brought him in because they wanted him to be in NXT India, and maybe that's not going to happen. Tyler Rust was just put in the Diamond Mine, so they lose him. Leon Ruff had a great babyface run. I don't know why you couldn't find more to do with him. And Kona Reeves was highly regarded backstage. I felt like they were bringing him back for a new gimmick soon. Like, what are they doing? And no offense to any of the other people that I didn't mention. I'm just not very familiar with their work. Just a sad day overall when it comes to NXT. Vince McMahon gutting NXT for whatever reason. It's just, I don't know what to say. I really don't. And this is where the vibe got completely taken out of SmackDown. You could hear the crowd get quieter and quieter through the night as people began to realize what WWE just did during the middle of their Friday Night Smackdown show. It's just baffling how this company could report record revenues over the last year and constantly can people. I'm losing faith in being a WWE fan. Like, why would I want to invest any of my time in any of these characters that are coming up through the system? Just to see them get fired. But anyways, let's try to continue on with this show. We had Street Profits versus Dirty Dogs in a match. Montez Ford defeated Dolph Ziggler with a 5-star forward splash. I barely watched that match. The releases were going on during this time. We also got the match between Zelina Vega and Bianca Belair. And again, this is no shot at either of them. Bianca Belair wins with a KOD. It's just, I was distracted. By the way, that Zelina Vega versus Bianca Belair match, got to talk about how it became a non-title match. Because we were watching the show, and then all of a sudden it went from the graphics of Zelina Vega versus Bianca Belair for the Women's Championship to being a championship contenders match. The timing of the graphic was horrible because literally after the graphic was placed up on the screen, we got the explanation as to why the championship match was not going to happen. But that didn't make much sense. Why did you have the graphic before the actual announcement? I was left scratching my head, as were 1,000 other WWE fans. They did explain, though, that Bianca Belair does not get to make the matches around there, and they did not believe Zelina Vega had earned her opportunity at the Women's Championship yet, and just because the champion says, hey, you get a match, doesn't mean you get a championship match. So they gave her a championship contenders match, in which Bianca Belair completely wiped the floor with her. Zelina Vega had zero chance. That KOD was beautiful, and the women's champion stands tall here again tonight. Now it's time for Corbin versus Balor. Last week we saw Baron Corbin cost Finn Balor the chance at signing for the Universal Championship match at SummerSlam, so Balor obviously wanted revenge, and he got his revenge. Baron Corbin, who is always down on his luck, was looking for any way out of this match. He did not want to fight Finn Balor. He wanted help. He was desperate, and Finn Balor was not ready and not willing to accept the apology of Baron Corbin. So Balor versus Corbin is underway. In a matter of just a few minutes, Finn Balor hits the coup de grace on Baron Corbin, and it's over. Finn Balor defeats the big bad Baron. But then Finn has a promo afterwards in which he calls out Roman Reigns, saying he wants that Universal title match. And if he has to go through John Cena to get it, he will. This is where Roman Reigns came down to the ring, and he was ready to stare face to face with Finn Balor. He was not happy that Finn Balor kept saying the name of the tribal chief. He's like, dude, if you're going to be on my show, you're going to keep my name out of your mouth. Roman Reigns then turns his back on Finn Balor, goes to exit the ring, and Balor drop kicks him out of it, but Roman lands on his feet. Slowly back into the ring Roman goes, but the Usos jump Balor from behind. A 2-on-1 beatdown as Roman Reigns walks back up the entrance ramp, but to our surprise, Finn Balor somehow reversed a big splash from Jay Uso, pulling Jimmy Uso into the flight path of Jay and causing Jay Uso to land on his own brother. Balor fights off both of the Usos and then stares back at Roman Reigns, gives him the double finger gun point that he made famous down in NXT, and Balor and Reigns seems like it's about to go down. Roman angrily walks back to the ring. He's ready to fight Finn Balor, and Balor brings the fight right to Roman Reigns. Sling Blade, Roman is down! And the Usos interfere yet again, distracting Balor, grabbing his legs, and this allows Roman Reigns to hit the Superman punch. Jey Uso hits the big splash on Finn Balor, and then Roman Reigns locks in the guillotine, making Finn Balor tap out at the end of SmackDown. All of a sudden, Roman Reigns has made a lot of people tap out that don't usually tap out. Very good ending to SmackDown. Unfortunately, the entire show just felt like the wind got taken out of its sails with those releases. To everybody who was released in the WWE, our thoughts are obviously with you. You do not deserve it. You're hard workers. You put your body on the line, and the fact that this company can just dismiss you just because they want to is garbage. Something needs to be done. A union needs to be formed. There's been too many jobs lost after this last year and a half. Something needs to be done. I'm tired of seeing wrestlers lose their jobs for no goddamn reason. It's embarrassing. It's just straight up embarrassing. But that is going to be it for me here today. Thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure you leave a like on this video. Make sure you leave a comment in the comment section below, letting me know your thoughts on these releases and letting me know your thoughts on Friday Night Smackdown. Also, while you're at it, you might as well go on over to twitter.com/conman167 and drop a follow over there. Again, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And man, oh man, WWE, what are you doing?